Tired of the usual Bangkok routine? Shopping malls, traffic jam, tourist crowds. What if I tell you there's an island just outside Bangkok where life moves slower? A peaceful cultural escape tucked into the Chao Phraya River, where we can immerse in local heritage, traditional crafts, and authentic Thai Mon culture. Most importantly, this island is car-free. Come island hop with me to the island Koh Kret. Technically, Koh Kret isn't in Bangkok itself. It is in Nonthaburi Province, just north of the Bangkok city. It is super easy to get there from central Bangkok. Right now, I'm in Chip Long in central Bangkok and I'm taking the BTS SkyTrain. Then switching to the MRT Pink Line so I can get closer to the river. Koh Kret is about 30 kilometers away from central Bangkok. And because Bangkok bus route can be a little bit confusing, especially when you are still learning the system and dealing with the language barrier, I prefer the BTS metro route over buses. And once I reach the pier, I will hop on a local boat that crosses the Chao Phraya River over to Koh Kret. That essentially is the easiest and the most scenic way to start this adventure. I am now transferring to the Pink Line at Wat Poramai Yikawat. This is where the BTS SkyTrain connects with the new Pink Line monorail.
Yeah, I'm going to Pink Line. Do I have to go out?
I get off the BTS station, walk over to the Pink Line entrance and tap in a separate ticket since it is a different system. Just one stop later, I arrive at the Yaek Pak Kret on the Pink Line.
From the Yaek Pak Kret station over here. So what I need to do is to walk 3 kilometers in that direction.
From here, you could hop on straight into the taxi or grab to the pier. But today, I'm doing something a little slower and more scenic. I am walking along the main road towards Pak Kret Pier, taking in the local neighborhood and street life on the way. As I step out onto the streets, I realize I've just crossed into Nonthaburi Province, another province tick off my Thailand trip. That said, I'm still a long way from visiting all 77 provinces in this country, but that's the kind of lifetime adventure I'm here for. Almost immediately, I spot a traditional Thai iced tea store on wheels. I cannot resist. I grab a cup and watch the store owner prepare it with such earnest care. Moments like this, small, authentic, and unplanned, are exactly why I love slow travel in Thailand.
Thank you.
So here am I here, on a leisure stroll from the metro station towards the pier. The walk is straightforward.
That way.
One long road, but the midday sun is doing its best to make things interesting.
It is less scorching to walk under the bridge.
The heat is a bit punishing, but there's a silver lining. Walking lets me stop whenever something catches my eye. And that is exactly what's happening right now. I spot this very traditional noodle store by the roadside. So I walk right in and order a bowl. I try chatting with the store owner using my self-taught broken Thai. And same as everywhere in Thailand, a smile goes a long way. This bowl of noodles is down-to-earth delicious and ridiculously cheap, only 40 baht. And to put that in perspective, my whole public transport journey from central Bangkok cost about 4 times more than this bowl of noodle.
The noodle is very delicious, but a little bit on the spicy side.
After a short walk, I finally reached the riverfront and the pier. And just beyond is Koh Kret, sitting peacefully in the middle of Chao Phraya River.
The reason why I come over here is because I'm looking for the port over here, over there. Yeah, the port is just next to this temple. The pier might be right in front of me. Let's go.
This little river crossing is made from Wat Sanam Noa Pier. Situated next to the temple it is named after. We didn't have to wait for the ferry long. Boats run constantly back and forth.
I asked around, this could be the pier. So let's wait for the ferry to come by.
Because the island is only about 100 meters from the mainland. And here's the best part. This ferry costs 3 Thai baht. Yup, 3 Thai baht. That's probably less than a snack. This is by far the cheapest way to reach Koh Kret. Sure, you could take a direct tour boat all the way from Bangkok, and some of those can cost up to 300 Thai baht or more one way. But you will miss moments like this, and you will be paying about 100 times more for the same destination. The ferry ride across the Chao Phraya River to Koh Kret takes less than 2 minutes. Honestly, it might be the shortest ferry ride I have ever taken. Ferry shuttle back and forth almost non-stop because the island is so close to the riverbank. As soon as the boats push off, before you can even blink, we are already preparing to dock on the other side. That entire crossing from departure to stepping onto the island happened in just basically a single shot in the video because it's just that quick.
In less than 2 minutes, we cross the river to the island.
I walk off at Wat Poramai Yikawat Ferry Pier. That is the main landing point on Koh Kret. From there, I turn around and look back towards the mainland. You can literally see how close you just came from. That tiny stretch of river was just the only thing standing between me and this peaceful island. Turning right from the ferry pier is Wat Poramai Yikawat. The temple the pier is named after. This historic monastery dates back centuries and sits right at the edge of Koh Kret, overlooking the Chao Phraya River. The ordination hall inside is beautifully decorated with traditional Thai murals painting on the walls. And the doors and windows are adorned in detail-colored stucco design. If you continue walking towards the far end of the temple ground, you will find a Mon-style chedi. That is a pagoda built in the architectural tradition of the Mon people who settled on this island. Originally constructed upright, this white pagoda began to lean over time. This is due to the erosion of the riverbank, and today it stands as a unique and iconic symbol of Koh Kret Island. Both the temple and its leading chedi have been officially registered as National Ancient Monuments by the Thai Fine Arts Department, preserving their cultural and historical significance for visitors from around the world. As I leave the temple grounds, I head anti-clockwise around Koh Kret, right into one of the island livelier spots, the OTOP market, also known as Ong Ang Community OTOP Market. This covered market runs through the narrow lanes with shops spilling out on both sides, selling local goods, handmade crafts, and a ton of delicious food and snacks. It is exactly the kind of place you will see real local life unfolds, not just for the tourists. Because the market follows the coastline of the island, There are little open areas here and there that gives you beautiful river views. And of course, hawkers and small eateries have set up right on these prime spots. Wandering deeper back into the market streets, there's so much to see, from savory treats to traditional snacks. And I even spot some of the traditional childhood games I used to play as a kid. It is funny how these toys and simple games seems to transcend cultures and countries. Koh Kret isn't a cute riverside village. It is one of Thailand's pottery hotspots. All thanks to the Mon community, which have been mastering this craft for generations. The clay found here is naturally perfect for shaping and carving, and the results, these iconic reddish-orange pots with intricate designs. I was initially worried pottery stores only come alive on weekends, but I find stores selling real earthen pots and even places offering quick lessons where you can try your hands at it. And these pottery shops can be found not just on weekends but on weekdays as well. As I continue around Koh Kret, there are little private jetties tucked along the main path. These are perfect spots to break out of the busy stores and take a deep breath of the fresh river air. Around here, you will find riverside cafe and pubs, and this open view make it easy just to pause, relax, and soak in the river vibe. Walking back into the markets again, the air filled with arts, snacks, sweets, and local eats at every turn. It is the kind of place where you can keep grazing as you explore. At certain points, the narrow market lane opens up into little inland space, giving you a glimpse into the traditional home that once stood here before the market takes over. And that's the parts of what makes Koh Kret feel so authentic and alive. Along the riverfront, you will spot beautiful traditional house on stilts reaching out over the water. And all around me, the boat traffic moves gently along the Chao Phraya River. These river views are one of the best parts of this loop. From where I'm standing, I can even see a giant Buddha statue across the river in Nonthaburi Province. I have plans to check it out later, but time got away from me and I ended up heading back into Bangkok instead. Right nearby, I find a map showing how this man-made island came to be. Back in the year 1722, during the Ayutthaya period, a canal was dug to shorten the river route for ships heading to the old capital, and turning it into what we now call Koh Kret. I stopped for a village-style ice cream along the way. A few scoops of such ice cream and instantly took me back to my childhood days. You know those memories of grabbing ice cream from the ice cream uncle off the street? Exactly that. Pure nostalgia. But as fun as the ice cream was, the market itself isn't keeping my attention for well too long. So I decided to do something a bit more adventurous. I figured, why not walk all the way across Koh Kret? After all, this island is only 4 square kilometers, roughly 3 kilometers from end to end. And that should be totally manageable on foot, or so I thought. You can rent a bicycle here. They are available basically at the main pier or near the temples. And most places charge around 40 to 50 baht for a bike rental. That is the easiest way to cover more grounds around the island and breeze through the path on 2 wheels. But seeing how narrow some of these lanes are, especially in the market area, I decided not to rent one today. On this car-free island in Koh Kret, sometimes a slow stroll gives me more freedom. Without a bike to return, I can go wherever I please, pause whenever I want, and even abort the walk without worrying about coming back for a rental. That little bit of flexibility makes a difference. Still be warned, there's very limited shade on this path. The island Koh Kret doesn't have many big trees, and walking under the hot afternoon sun can get punishing hot. Even the locals tend to avoid long walk midday because there's just not much cover. If the weather is nice and cool in the early morning or late afternoon, then a stroll like this is absolutely perfect. Peaceful, scenic, and way more enjoyable. I cannot believe it. A nature sanctuary right next to Bangkok with no cars, calm lanes, bicycle and narrow path everywhere. It feels totally idyllic to walk, like stepping into a village frozen in time, except for the weather. After walking for less than 30 minutes under that blazing afternoon heat, I finally have to admit defeat and call it a day. I head back to the same ferry pier that brought me into Koh Kret, and I leave the island the same way I came in. There is no formal ticket gate or complicated boarding process. Just hand over 3 Thai baht at the ferry booth and you are on your way. That tiny ferry is classic, a slightly weathered motorized sampan that feels like it has been doing this route forever. As I step on board, the only sound around me is the loud hum of the boat's ferry, cutting through the quiet river afternoon. It is just a short ride, less than 3 minutes, but that's enough to slowly leave the island behind as I cruise back to the mainland. And honestly, I wish that nostalgic little journey lasts just a bit longer. I head back to the same ferry pier that brought me into Koh Kret. And I go out exactly the way I came in. Once I'm back on solid ground, I decide to hail a motorbike taxi instead of walking all the way back again. It is just too hot, and even the locals are hiding indoors from the midday sun. Yep, my face and arms have earned a nice suntan as usual. If you enjoyed this trip so far, thank you so much for your support. Drop a like, leave a comment or two, and if you are new here, hit subscribe so you won't miss the next adventure. Koh Kret is an awesome day trip out of Bangkok. Peaceful, cultural, and totally different from the city buzz. I am Uncle Go Traveling, and I'll see you back in Bangkok in the next episode.